he knows.
Just bought another one
Yeah.
for my son. I got a Ruger American Rover.
Yeah. Well, I figured we got 2 shotguns.
Well, it's about time.
Oh, good afternoon.
Could have been here a little bit earlier, but I so needed coffee.
Some hours a day, we don't care.
Yeah, we're here.
Wonder why we do extra many people at 6 o'clock.
I don't know. Well,
How you doing? Did you get your?
Oh, okay, thanks. All right, yeah, we have 2 different, so this meeting's over? Yeah. Oh, good, okay. I didn't have one to use.
On the top page, it tells you what it is to take out. Okay.
Wait a minute for Jamie to get back here before we start up. We good to go?
We're good.
I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Chino Valley Planning and Zoning Commission, November 7th, 2017. Commissioner Armstrong, would you lead us in the pledge?
Certainly. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Good evening. All right, Commissioner Armstrong.
Here.
Commissioner Welker.
Here.
Commissioner Bacon.
Here.
Commissioner Van Wuffen.
Here.
Commissioner Baker.
Yes.
Vice Chair Pasiak.
Here.
And Chair Merritt.
Here. Thank you. Okay, like to we're going to open up with item 4A, consideration and possible action to approve the October 3rd, 2017 regular meeting minutes. Does anybody have any issues with that?
Not at all.
Okay, I have a question, and it might just me being kind of thick-headed here. On page 3 at the bottom, it says Commissioner Armstrong stated that he would prefer to reduce the RV spaces from 240 to 200. And then Mr. Fletcher related that they would reduce the RV park. It would slow down the other part of the development. And then on the next paragraph, on the second addendum item, the reduction of density of park units from 240 to 200. So I think I know the answer, but I'd like to clarify if it's park units or RV units. Please, Jason.
Certainly, thank you, Chair Merritt. And to clarify, yes, it was for the park model units. We forwarded a recommendation from P&Z to council for the reduction from 240 to 200, and then council took action to approve the item based on that.
And it is park model,
Park
right?
model. The RV units remain constant at 86.
And that's what I thought, but is this more like a typo error in the minutes then?
You know, those terms were flying around a lot in that hearing. I think it could have been just a typo. It was meant to be park model units.
Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, if we just can change that word from RV to park model, that'd probably square us up.
Thank you, Chair. That's correct.
Anybody have a problem with that?
I was just going to say, if somebody misspoke and actually said park model, then Vicky.
We would so is there a way we can check on that? I mean, it ain't that big a deal, I guess.
We can check, and if it was just a typo, we can fix that. But if it wasn't a typo, we kind of have to let it stand.
And that's okay, just trying to clarify that. see
Yeah,
if-
so you can vote to make the correction if it was an error.
Okay, and if
so you
not,
can
we will
approve-
just accept it as written.
Yeah.
Okay, can I entertain a motion like that, please?
The correction you want is on the paragraph on page 3 or on the next page?
Yes.
On page 3. Okay, so,
Page 3 and page 4. There's a discrepancy in the wordage between the two pages on what units are what.
okay, Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the minutes of October 3rd with the correction noted on page 3 and page 4 regarding the number of park units versus RV units. If indeed that was a typo rather than has somebody spoke. Does that make sense?
Makes sense? Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That was awkward.
That was a pain.
The box for voting is supposed to be open until 7, but it says closed.
The election is in Prescott only, not in Chino Valley.
Well, they said we could drop it off here.
Did they?
Yes,
They never asked us to open the box. I'll take it.
thank you, I just want to get it in
Yeah.
before 7.
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Okay, we'll move on to item 5, staff reports. We have no staff reports. Okay, moving forward to item 6A. We'll open the public hearing portion of this meeting. Item 6A. Consideration and possible action regarding an application from Donald Roscoff for a zone change from the existing CLAR5 Commercial Light Agricultural Residential 5-acre minimum to SR1 Single Family Residential 1-acre minimum for a property located approximately 1/4 mile south of the southeast corner of West Road 1 North and North Road 1 West at 295 North Road 1 West as defined as assessor parcel number 306-23-045W. Alex.
Good evening, Chair, Commission. Before you have an application from the property owner, Mr. Roscoff has applied and is requesting a zone change for his property. As stated before, the property is located approximately 1/4 mile south of the southeast corner of West Road 1 North and North Road 1 West at 295 North Road 1 West. The property is approximately 8.33 acres. It is currently zoned commercial light, agriculture residential 5-acre minimum. Currently on the property, there are 2 residents, and the property here you have a zoning map just to indicate the current zoning and the surrounding zoning of the property. As you see here, the surrounding area is made up of that of low density to medium density residential. This parcel here is Mr. Roscoff's, and the property to the north has the same zoning as a commercial light agriculture residential. There's a residence there as well. The property has a land use designation for the general plan, has a land use designation of medium density residential, 2 acres or less. As stated in the staff report, Mr. Roscoff is requesting the zone change in order to split the current parcel. The applicant hasn't decided yet on what way he's going to split the parcel, but when we get to that point, he's going to have to sit down with us so we can make sure that he has legal access to the newly created parcels. But for as of right now, we're just talking about the zone change. As indicated in the staff report, that currently the the land use designation is that of a medium density residential. The current zoning does not, is not in conformance with its general plan designation. By rezoning the property to the requested zoning, the zoning will be in conformance with the land use designation. Other issues that were stated in the staff report was that of the CLAR5, which is considered a blended zoning. This type of zoning is not identified in the UDO or the Unified Development Ordinance. Therefore, it becomes difficult for staff to regulate or interpret that type of zoning when it comes to basic practices as proposed uses or allowed uses or setbacks. With a proposed single-family residential, this type of zoning is clearly identified in the UDO, and therefore would be easier to regulate as far as development standards for the property. The proposed zoning also, as we see here in the zoning map, to the east, we have we have a subdivision here. It's called Granada Estates that has single-family SR1. To the north, it's also SR1, and also to the west, these properties over here have the SR1 zoning. So by creating this into SR1, we're gonna have a transition or a support of that same zoning on both sides of the property. And as we go further south, we're gonna have more of a lower density residential. Staff does support this, the proposed for the zone change. The character of the surrounding and that of the parcel is gonna stay the same. I believe the applicant, once he gets the zoning, he's gonna split the property off so that these two current homes that he has there become two separate properties. The applicant is here if you have any questions for him or of myself.
Anybody have any questions for Alex while he's up at the microphone?
I do. Only because sometimes I don't get things right away. There are two residents there. It looks like there's a big red roofed barn or something on the property as well.
There currently are two residents on the property.
Okay,
You have a residence here and then a residence here. This is actually I believe is a barn.
okay. And then the structure in front of both of those in the center with the red roof?
This
Right
is a
there.
residence right here. Again, this is a residence. This is an accessory structure, a shed.
Mhm.
This is a residence with a accessory structure, a shed, and another one over here.
And I guess that would be north of where you just had the arrow. Is that not a residence?
This over here,
Yes.
this is not part of the parcel.
Oh, okay. All right, now I
We
understand.
see here, that's the residence, and sorry about that. I should have highlighted this as well to
That's
show where the
okay.
residence is at. So the residence starts right here. This is a property line.
Okay, it makes a little more sense to me now
Right.
that I can see how I can split it. So, thank you.
Alex, was there anything with the, could you just state if the residents said anything in opposition or support of this?
Yes, sorry about that, Commissioner Bacon. The applicant did notify everybody within the 300-foot radius. The applicant had the neighborhood meeting here in Town Hall on October 2nd. At said meeting, no property owners attended said meeting.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Would Mr. Roscoff like to come up and speak to us for a minute?
I'm Don Roscoff. I'd like to thank you for taking your time and going through this. I think Alex pretty much explained everything to you all, but if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Roscoff? Thank you, sir.
You bet.
I'd like to open this portion of the meeting up to any comments from the public. If you choose to speak, please step up to the microphone and state your name. And you have 3 minutes, and be concise. Anybody like to take us up on that?
Is that relating to?
You have to step up to the microphone.
Or is this,
This is relating to the item that we're dealing with right now. Seeing as there's nobody here to speak on it again, I would entertain a motion to approve this zoning change.
You need to close the public hearing, please.
I move to recommend. I move to recommend approval to town council of this request to rezone approximately 8.33 acres of real property located approximately 1/4 mile south of the southeast corner of West Road 1 North and North Road 1 West at 295 North Road 1 West from CL/AR5 Commercial Light Agricultural Residential 5 acre minimum to SR1 Single Family Resident 1 acre minimum.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Anybody have any questions, comments? Anything?
Public meeting is still open.
It's still open.
Okay, sorry about that. Thank you. Close the public portion of the meeting for this item. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. Okay, we have item 7, non-public hearing action items. Do we have any of those? Okay, item 8, discussion items. I don't believe we have any of those either. Item 9, public comments. This portion of the meeting is a call to public, is an opportunity for the public to address the commission on any issue within the jurisdiction of the commission that's not on the agenda. Individuals are limited to speak for 3 minutes. So if anybody has anything to say, please step up to the microphone and state your name.
Hello, thank you, Chairperson Merritt. Can you hear me? Yeah. My name's Hariaksha Gregor Knauer. I live at 1070 Cherokee Drive, County. And I don't really know. I'll try to keep it well below 3 minutes. I don't know if this is the venue or town council, but I have 2 questions really about impact fees. I understand we're not a charter city, that the Chino Valley is not a charter city. And so maybe the legislature will allow Chino Valley to charge impact fees. I'm understanding they have a new law that charter cities cannot. And Prescott Valley, for instance, has pledged that new growth will pay for new growth. And I think Prescott is making some similar promise, at least prior to the legislature's new meddling. It was in today's Talk of the Town by Joe Zarnach, I think is his name. Real good article, specifically about impact fees. So my question is, can Chino Valley charge enough impact fees to pay for the impact of new development in town? Now, the other question is about water. And Joe, in his Talk of the Town today, touched on this too, the safe yield that we've blown past, and we don't have any legal obligation to stick to. But there is the question of drawing down the Little Chino aquifer. So these are 2 questions: impact fees and trying to make an effort to achieve safe yield.
Thank you for your comments. At this part of the meeting, we can listen to your questions. We cannot directly answer them. We can only direct staff to address these issues. That's just a part of the meeting that we're in. All of these items are familiar to all of us. And so I think probably if you visited City Hall, they would be able to help you with some of those things.
Do y'all make a comment in a next meeting to the public comments?
We can, the town staff, which these 2 gentlemen that are here tonight have noted your questions, and they can come back next meeting with some comments on that.
Yeah? Okay, super. Thank you.
Again, I might suggest that if you have a need for immediate answers to these questions, you might stop into the town hall, talk to Development Services. They can probably help you with some of that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for your comment, sir. Anybody else have any questions from the public? All right, I'm going to close that portion of the meeting. We will take item 10, a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have multiple seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Commission, for your time.
Is this the fastest meeting we've had
Oh,
so far?
No.
Second
no, We've
fastest.
had fasters.
We like these kind of meetings, by the way.
Okay.
Just to do something with that property, making sure everybody has access, is gonna be a little bit of a problem for him, I think.
Yeah. But we didn't give him permission
No,
to do it. We just
not
gave
yet,
him
we just
permission
told him he could make
to
his
do it.
own.